Record.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Campbell High CougarCast, where we will talk to our Campbell High staff, students, and community to talk about all topics both in and out of Campbell. I am your host, Mason Alexander Jeffrey, and now let the podcast begin.
Thank you, Mason. That was myself on a pre-recorded bumper. Today, I have my first and the very lovely guest, Ashley Snell. How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm doing great, Mason. How are you?
I am fan-freaking-tastic. And so, I don't talk to you on the most frequent basis, but it was nice of you to join me. And so, I guess as a starter, what's going on in the world of Ashley? Anything interesting, anything new, anything life-changing or life-altering?
Well, I decided what I wanted to do with my life, I think.
What are you going to do with your life?
Ready? Don't judge me. I think I'm going to open a bar.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. So I always wanted to be everything from like a neurosurgeon to accountant to vet, literally anything. And nothing ever piqued my interest. And my friend was like, you can start bartending at 18. And I was like, all right. Now, I know I'm a 16-year-old saying I'm going to open a bar. No, I'm not an alcoholic. But it has the financial business stuff that I've wanted with the accounting. And also, I'm up and doing stuff. I feel like I got to have fun.
Oh, so it's a good career to just not be lazy. You have to get the alcohol. You have to get the alcohol license. You have to maybe get a chef if you're going to serve wings or whatever.
Ooh. That's a good idea. Yeah.
You need your standard bar food. You need your peanuts, your chips, your pretzels.
I never thought about that.
Well, it's a good thing we're having this conversation.
I think so.
You got to be prepared for your future, my dude.
I know.
Does that require any schooling, or is that just kind of you do it yourself?
I feel like I could do some schooling because I don't know much about business. So if I went to 2 years for college, could learn about all the financial stuff. And then by that time, because you still have to be 21 to buy the alcohol, and I think it's 24 to actually buy a business. So I wouldn't have been able to do that.
You have to be 24 to buy a business?
Well, maybe. I know renting you do.
Really, renting?
I think so, to rent a house.
Huh. Well, this is confusing me because my current boss, who I guess I will keep anonymous, though I might say later because he probably doesn't care. But he said I heard he started his business at 18,
really?
almost fresh out of high school. Granted, that was probably during late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much the law has quite changed.
Yeah.
But it's...
I haven't done the most research on it. Obviously, forgetting the wings and peanuts. It's kind of a key part.
Yeah. But, you know what drinks you want to serve. You need your Manhattans, your Pale Ales. Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, that's...
It's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's certainly more different than anything I heard from anyone else in the school. Because most other people, especially girls, you just hear I'm going to be a nurse, because I want to help out all the children, which, it's nice. But, it's conversation-wise, it's boring. It just is boring. But it is interesting to hear someone who... Because you don't want to just do it because it's woohoo, alcohol when I'm 21.
Yeah, no,
this
not
business
at all.
Would be cool. You're
Absolutely not.
You're I'm interested in financials and stuff like that.
When I say that to people, they're like, "Oh, really? You want to open a bar? Tell me more about that." I was like, "Yeah, I want to open a business. That would be awesome."
Yeah, and so it's more starting a business.
Yeah, but also having the fun aspect. I get to be standing up, conversating with people. It's not a cubicle job. I couldn't do that.
That's one thing I'm that's one of the reasons, because I want to go to art school, and that's one of the big reasons why I want to go to art school is just because the whole cubicle or office world, it seems so...
I would die.
Yeah, because it's so... Because you get turned into a machine.
Yeah, I'm such a people person. I need to be up, walking around, talking to people. But this way I get to do that and get the finances and business and responsibility that I want too.
Yeah. Are you, and I know this is kind of a loaded question, but are you afraid of failing early on, or do you think you'd be able to bounce back kind of quickly?
I feel like it would definitely, it'd be risky, but if I found the right location, me and my friend, who I guess I'll leave anonymous, we decided that we wanted to do this together. Like, we came up with it one night, and I don't know. And
you know what we should do, man?
What?
We should start a bar. We should get away from the man and start a bar.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to do that in Litchfield.
Yeah,
I'm getting out of Litchfield.
Yeah. You think you're going to get out of New Hampshire?
Maybe, yeah.
Or
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know that much yet, but she said that she thinks if we started a successful bar, that we'd be able to bounce back in like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah. If we found the right spot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but location isn't everything. Because you remember, there is still advertising or just getting the word out. Which, I mean, granted, who knows what social media is, let's see, like 10 years from now? 26 is when you can rent. Or 23.
24.
24, whenever you can rent. So 8 years from now, who knows when, how this world's gonna change, like social media wise, when you could just, when everything is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so art school.
So art school, no. So it was, well, I always knew I was gonna be an artist growing up, because my
You're very talented.
Thank you. Yeah, no, well, because it was always like I was drawing, and I was just always trying to be creative. Like, I remember what I used to do back when Hastings was here was I would always, if his board was blank, I would draw something, or I would just write fake stories.
Yeah, I read those. I was in Hastings study, and I always read those. And you drew on the windows too.
Yeah, I did draw. Oh, right, I did draw on the windows.
Yeah, those were awesome.
Those were probably erased, but it was always like, it was always this kind of, I want to be creative and like tell a story. This is a quick and easy way to do it, or even just be silly.
You had some crazy conspiracy theories. Those were awesome.
Was it my, for context here, one time I drew on the board a list of famous celebrities that were lizard people in relation to the conspiracy theory that the world's leaders are reptilian alienoids that have taken over the social consciousness. And so I did like politicians, I did like weird reality show celebrities, but it was like, you know, I don't believe it.
Well, yeah.
But it was just kind of like, here's this kind of like a fun idea. Not the most original, but it is like, it's just like a thing to do while I still have these 30 minutes in the morning. You clapped your hands, right?
I
did.
Clapped
your hands.
I remembered what it was. I knew something about Hastings. My favorite one was Hastings, that like, I think it was that he was a machine.
All right, yeah. So this one was, I don't know why, but I was thinking about the Bionic Man, which for those of you who don't know was a TV show in the 70s. And it was, the joke with Hastings was always that he was a robot because he was like so smart and unemotional.
Yep.
And I just thought, what if his dad was the Bionic Man from the show, The Bionic Man? And so I came up with a fake story of, you know,
like a board long.
Yeah, a board long. I filled up the whole thing. I also wrote it out anonymously as the man who knows all, even though everyone knew it was me.
Yeah.
And it was just I played on what I knew about him, and again, it was a way to be creative, and it was just fun. It's just a fun thing to do, and so that's kind of why going back to art school, because everything's got to go back to there. It's just I feel like I want to be creative instead of just being dull in like an office, and that was like one thing. One thing that was weird was when I'd say roughly from first grade to maybe the 5th grade. Every once in a while, hi, Mama G. For those of you
You're always welcome.
Yeah, you're always welcome, except when my podcast is on. You know, I'm kidding.
I know. I love you guys.
We love you too, Mama G.
I used to call my middle school recess monitor Mama G. Sorry, continue.
So anyway, first grade to 5th grade, my mom would take me to her office like every once in a while, just when like maybe no one was at home to watch me or something to that effect. And it was weird because in those years, it was almost cool because you get to see adults adulting. You see them like, and the idea of a cubicle seems cool at first because you get your own little space. It's not a giant classroom where you have to share a desk with the annoying kid to your right.
Yeah.
It was your own little space. You got your own little computer. Computers.
Your drawers.
Yeah, you got your own
set
drawers.
it up.
You get to post your own pictures on the wall. Whoa. And then you get your own whiteboard. You can draw all day.
My dad had a candy drawer.
You have friends who have candy. This is the coolest place ever. These people are so nice. And then years later, I kind of realized that, like, oh, they have pictures on the wall because that's what they're going to home at night. That's like they're working for these people. This is like kind of like their humanity. And so they both kind of connect the outside and the inside world to it. But the fact that they had to do that was always, it kind of weirded me out. And what also didn't help was, do you know the movie Office Space?
No.
So Office Space, I want to say it was 99. It was about a guy who he hated his job so much, and then one day he just stopped working, and he got promoted, and it was like it was basically making fun of the whole office culture. But I watched that and I was like, oh yeah, these offices are kind of gross, and adding the ping pong table doesn't really change that. And I was like, okay, well now I gotta draw and make art and write and do all this stuff so I can stay out of that. And so, excuse me. So, like right now, I'm about on track to do television writing and production. That's what I want to do for like at college, and that's also what my brother's doing. And I kind of took influence from him, because he was, I don't want to say aimless, but like I'd say for a year or two, he was always like, ah man, I don't quite know what I want to do. But he was the same way as me. He was like, he wanted to do art stuff. He wanted to be creative. And so that was like TV for him, or like movies, or just kind of learning the whole behind the scenes process.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I want to do art school, or at least art focused school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see you in a cubicle. You're such an outgoing person.
Yeah.
That I can't see that even being a thought for you.
Yeah. I find it weird when people say I'm outgoing, because outside of school, I hang out with like no one.
That's how it is these days.
Yeah. Like even with you, because I always saw you not as outgoing, but like, I guess social is the term.
Yeah.
Like you have friends that you hang out with frequently.
Yeah.
But is that kind of like a false image, or is that a little?
You know, it's always changing. Life's always changing. People are changing. My friend group has never been the same for like a month at a time.
Really?
Okay, that's an exaggeration. But like I'm always jumping friend groups. Everything's changing. I like to keep like, what do you call it?
Like the core 5, or like
core one.
The core one, like just the one best friend.
Yeah, and then I have other friends sometimes who I'll hang out outside of school with, and there's the school people. Yeah.
It just kind of bounces from where you are.
Yeah.
Like, because do you have a job right now?
Yep.
It's like you have your friends at work, and then you have your friends at here.
Yeah.
And those two never meet.
Nope.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes they do.
Huh.
It's kind of weird when it does, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, your work friends seeing you outside of, like, the work environment's like, oh. Yeah. This person they have a personality. Look at that.
Yeah. I had that kind of recently with Mr. Benoit, or as I like to say, Mr. Benoit.
Benoit.
Because before he started working this year, he worked with me at Romano's. Oh. And so I knew him back when he was just Noah to me.
Yeah.
He was just Noah, and I was able to call him Noah. I can't anymore.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and luckily, since I don't have like a class with him, I'm sometimes able to like goof off around him. Yeah. But it was kind of like this weird shift of, like, I knew you kind of, I don't want to say like I was able to have like a personal rapport. I could say anything to you, but then you're in the school now, and so I can't quite say
You
everything.
went from your friend to your teacher, and you're like, oh, that changes things.
It does change things. It is weird, and it's like, I remember I asked him when he told me that he was working at Campbell. I was like, "Can I still call you Noah?" He's like, "I mean, I prefer him. Nah, it's not quite professional." Mm-hmm. And so it is kind of like when like two friend groups kind of mix, but you gotta kind of treat them differently now.
Yeah. Now I don't necessarily act differently around different people, but like if I'm around my best friend, like I'm myself. And if I'm around certain, like my work people, I'm a little more reserved, school people a little more reserved, and just trying to mix them and like acting crazy with my best friend and then mixing them with work people, and they've never seen me like that. Like, it's hard to find a medium.
Yeah, I know that. Well, school's weird because you have to you have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Outside of school, you can do whatever. But when you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And not that, because, like, you could always say anything when the teachers aren't around, but you tend not to. Because school is seen as school.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
It's a workplace.
Yeah, it's a workplace, but it's a workplace where, say, something like gossip is prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is. I'm trying to think if, like, any of my friends have ever, like, other than Mr. Benoit, if any of my friends have ever actually met, like, work friends or friends from, like, different parts, or even some of my family members. I don't really think they have, because, granted, some of the people I know here work where I work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
then,
me too.
Yeah, but then that was kind of interesting for me, because these were people I would never normally talk to, like, had I not started working at Romano's.
Yeah, me too.
Like, maybe I'd see him in the hallway and make a quick joke, but now I know them from work, and I'm like, oh, hey, do you want to pick up a shift? Hey, remember Jimmy did this, and
yeah,
it was a change, as well as, like, how I saw these people, because at first I saw them one way, and then I saw them another. I'm like, oh, these are way different people than I thought.
Yeah, you see them in school, you're like, what's up? And then you start working with them and getting to know them, and you're like, wow, you're actually pretty cool. Like, I never would have known that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well. Yeah, just the world's crazy. I sometimes feel like I'm isolated.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you do what I do, which is, like, you do, like, the hangouts, but then you just sit in your room and you just kind of think, like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or man, I should have done this with that person, or, like, I always kind of feel like I'm ruminating. What's the wrong, like I fester in my own head. Like
when someone roasts you and you're in the shower and you think of a roast back. You do that with everything you do?
Absolutely. Like, you think of the best comeback ever and you can't say it to them.
Yeah, and you're just like, all right, how can I restart this fight we just had just to get that?
Yeah. That's why I always want time travel to be a thing, because then I could tell my younger
self.
Go
back and be like,
yeah.
I know what I'm going to say.
I would use time travel for nothing else. Mostly because I guess I'd do it to travel. What would you do if you could time travel?
Time travel? I'd probably, like, go back to my childhood, just because, like, life is so different now, and I was blessed to have a good childhood. Like, my whole neighborhood was all kids who, like, I've grown up with in this high school, but, like, some of them moved, and, like, that was a good time. Now you see kids playing, like, Xbox together, like, they're just like, hey, you want to play some 2K? And they're, like, in third grade, and you're like, okay, I was outside playing Capture the Flag, Manhunt.
Yeah, Tag.
Well, yeah, it was more tag. But, like, kids don't hang out as much, so I would just go back to the good childhood days, probably.
Yeah, like as yourself at that age, or, like, as an observer? Like, man, I was like that when I was a kid.
I don't know. Because I feel like if I went back as a kid, I wouldn't remember I had time travel, and I'd just kind of have to relive my life a second time.
Yeah, but you won't be freaked out or, like, maybe bummed out if you saw yourself younger?
I would definitely be bummed out, but also happy at the same time, you know? Because you look at it, you're just like, wow, life was good. But then you're sad, and you're like, wow, life is just life now.
Yeah. Well, life's different.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're still able to have fun.
Absolutely. I always tried to grow up when I was a kid. Like, I was always, like, I wanted to be just another year older. Like, I rushed everything. So if I would go back, that'd probably be one thing I did, is just, like, live in the moment. And so I've been trying to, like, slow my life down and be like, all right, like, I don't need to be thinking about when I'm 60 and where I'm going to live in, like, some beach house somewhere. I'd just be like, all right, I'm 16. I'm just going to live my life. And I'm just going to let everything happen, instead of being like, oh, I can't wait till I'm 18, can't wait till I'm 21, can't wait till I'm this or that. I'm just going to live now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always, like, the weird thing when people are like, man, I can't wait till I'm 21. Because, like, well, I mean, obviously you can't drink, but it's like, it's like you don't still need to be 21 to do fun stuff. Like, you're only really saying that because it's, like, seen as the milestone, because that's when you can drink. But it's really, you can have fun without, like, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that, especially in high school. Like, I love the outdoors. Like, I just want to go for a hike with some of my friends, and that's really hard to do. Because, like, you're just kind of hanging out at someone's house, and I'm such an outdoors person that, like, I want to go out and have fun. But, yeah, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. It's when hanging out is just seen as you sit in your living room and you're just like all on your phones.
Yeah.
With some TV show, doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
just playing. And that's one thing why I've kind of, I don't want to say I've stopped hanging out with people, but it's like I've kind of slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
That was just always where hanging out was. We'd put on some movie, then we'd be on our phones. We'd kind of joke about, and then everyone would go home. And I was like, that wasn't like fun. That was so boring. I wanted to like actually do a thing.
Mm-hmm. This summer, I got lucky. Like, I had a pretty good group of friends, and we'd all go out and do stuff. Like, we went to rope swings all the time, and some of us would go hiking and all kinds of different things. So I had a lot of fun this summer, but most people don't do that. And second school starts, you don't get to do that because you're so busy. Like, the first 2 weeks of school, I was working like 30 hours on top of school. Yeah.
Dude,
So-
I barely had time to have fun during the summer because I had so much summer work. I had to read 3 books. No, I'm not joking.
No, so I'm laughing about my summer work.
What? Okay, I'll do my summer work then.
Okay.
Let's talk about your summer.
All right.
I had to read 3 books. One was interesting. One I was like, whatever. And then one was so boring. I'll say what the books are later if I feel like it. Also, the lawnmower is making a lot of noise right now. But I had to read the books. I had to do a sketchbook for a portfolio. Granted, that kind of makes this year way easier than it was last year. I had to, I don't even remember because I just wanted to leave my head so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like already so done with summer work by the time I actually started it, and I started it before the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like I did still hang out with some people, but it was like I couldn't do it as often as say years past.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of sort of. So for those of you who don't know, Ashley just kicked away a whiteboard.
I
And
need to see the time. I have work.
oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't tell me you had work. What time do you have it?
4.
At 4? What time do you want to be out here, roughly?
Call it like 3:30. Yeah, 3:30.
Yeah, that'll be fine. And I mean, by that time, this podcast it won't even be an hour, but I mean, it's still long enough for people to be interested in it. But yeah, it was just kind of summer work was annoying, and I was just done with it. I want to get this out of the way, get the school started. I'll do school. I'll hang out with people, maybe on Fridays or Saturdays or whenever, and things will be good. And I have kind of started hanging out with people more.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. What was your summer work?
My summer work was procrastinated until the night before school. I was probably up until like 4. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh no, that's the best part. You weren't kidding me.
I know. I've done that too much this school year. I'm just like, I didn't do any work during the day. I just laid in my bed all day, and it's 12, and I'm like, I have schoolwork that's due. I really need to do that. So then I start my schoolwork at like midnight, and I'm up till 2. I'm like, all right, if I go to bed now, I'm not going to be able to wake up in the morning. So you want to know what I do?
What do you do?
I pull an all-nighter.
And then you still go to school?
Yep.
How-
I do not recommend. It is not a good decision.
Yeah, no, I guess I've kind of been blessed with being an early bird
Oh.
and like a workhorse because it has always, because I hate staying up late. That was my other big problem with hanging out with people when I was younger. I hated staying up late.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just always like, it's like I'm not a vampire. I don't like the nighttime. I want to do stuff when it's still the daytime. Yeah, just that was kind of the scene. But you're clearly opposite if you're able to pull all-nighters fairly frequently.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely be an early bird. Like, if I have something the next day, like, I can absolutely get up. Like, for FCA on Friday mornings, I have
What's FCA?
Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We meet at 6:30 in the weight room on Fridays. in the morning. So I got up at 5. Yeah, I got up at 5 one morning, was out of my house by 5:30, went to get us some donuts, had to pick someone up at the school by 6:30. It's like, if I need to get up, I can get up and be productive as long as my alarms go off. But I tend to stay up much later than I should.
For those of you who can't see, because this is also still just audio, me and Ashley are holding up our shirts against the mic so that the lawnmower doesn't set off
Wait,
the
ready?
mics.
Take them down.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah, you hear that
That's tough.
ming? Yeah, that's the lawnmower. And it's loud as hell. We need... Okay, now I need to know...
Rest in peace, everyone's ears.
No, I mean, it's not too loud, because I think as loud as we hear it on here is probably how loud they'll hear it. But that thing is really loud, and now I know to do this in the back room in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you follow politics at all?
You know, I really did. Like, I used to, like, because my parents raised me, like, don't just see what you see on social media and listen to that. Like, do your own research rather than just seeing something online and taking that as the truth. So I used to be really up to date because everyone would be talking these crap about these politicians and stuff like that. So I'd go and look everything up. I kind of stopped doing that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not that up to date. Yeah.
So I can't be like, what do you think of the debates? What do you What do you think of Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah, no, I'm behind. I'm sorry.
Bernie Sanders, heart attack. Thoughts?
Oh, really? Yikes.
Well, you really
That's
are.
tough.
You really are behind.
I think I heard like a week after it happened that people were trying to impeach Trump, and I was like, oh, okay.
We didn't already do that?
Wait.
No, we didn't.
Okay. I was like, hold up. I would have heard about that.
Wow, you're super behind.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I mean,
I'm ashamed.
don't be sorry, because politics it's boring.
No.
Well, it can sometimes. Here's the thing: the politics that matter are boring. And then
I like the funny politicians who think that farting cows should be banned. Tell me you heard about that.
Yeah, well, isn't it just like the farting cows, they produce the methane
Yeah.
and what?
That was a whole debate last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to get rid of farting cows, but that's a...
Cows are literally one of my favorite animals.
Yeah. Do you know why they're farting?
No?
Because they're
cows.
Because they're stuck in stalls where they get fed all day and they don't move, so it just bubbles up and they just rip it.
Really?
Yeah.
So if they were just out, they'd be fine?
I mean, they'd still fart, but the idea is that they're mass producing, and so they're mass producing farts, which creates methane, which is not good for the atmosphere.
Gotcha.
And so, I mean, granted, saying it as the farting cow debate doesn't exactly help, but it is kind of like the thing.
I love cows.
Everyone loves cows, except when they fart.
Except when they eat your hair.
Go on.
Deerfield Fair, maybe 2-3 years ago. I was laying on a cow, and we were chilling. He just turned around and started eating my hair. And everyone's kind of standing there like, what do we do? I got out. I'm okay.
Okay. So cows are eating your hair.
Yes.
I've heard of like goats and stuff doing that, but never a cow.
Yeah, no.
Oh well.
I've never laid with a goat, so.
Phrasing, by the way.
What?
Phrasing. I've never laid with a goat. Yeah. What is Deerfield Fair, by the way? Because I've never been.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me let you in on this. So, Deerfield Fair is something that my dad has gone to his entire life. Because his mom started taking him. And then when my dad got with my mom, she's been going ever since. And since me and my brothers were little, we've been going ever since. My brother Spencer just missed his first year this year.
Ouch.
He's 19.
Yeah.
Austin hasn't missed one. I haven't missed one. We go every year. It's an hour from here. But
What town?
Deerfield.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was like the building or if that was like the town.
No, it's...
I like no local towns. But go
yeah.
on. But is it just like petting zoo and get your pumpkins and that type of stuff?
I don't know. It's just fun. It's huge. It has like a bunch of different shows you can go to, concessions. People are selling stuff. Soup in a bread bowl, my all-time favorite. Pig scramble. The pig scramble. So I've wanted to get in the pig scramble my entire life. What it is you get your name picked out of a bucket, and like those 6 kids go into this ring where they release 6 little baby pigs, right? Not like baby.
But really small.
Yeah.
Like a teacup pig?
No.
Just like a small pig.
Just like a pig that's like gonna grow up big. Just
okay.
A younger pig. And these kids, they have a big sack and they run around the ring. You gotta grab the pig by the back leg. And no, this is not animal abuse. We had a huge issue with this a couple years past. You're not allowed to pick them up. You're not allowed to grab both legs. Like, there's a whole bunch of rules.
Yeah.
So you just grab one leg, you put him in the sack, and that is your pig. You get to keep it.
You get to keep the pig?
You get to keep the pig. And I have put my name in every year, and I've never gotten it because the fair just more and more people keep going. Because one year, there was like 10 people maybe in the stands, and they went through like 5-10 names, and no one was there. And I was one of the only people that was there. And everyone was like, pick her, just pick her. And they didn't. And then they kind of booed for the person who did get chosen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a time thing.
A time thing?
Timed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you only have like...
So many minutes?
Yeah, I forget how long.
Minutes or seconds?
Minutes.
What would you do with a pet pig? First off, how do you feed them? What do you feed them?
You know, that's something I would research if I want a pig. But there's also places you can go where, yes, you won this pig, but you're not able to keep it. So there's people who will, I don't know if you buy them or you just give them to these people who have, like, farms and stuff where they can keep the pig. I would not be allowed to keep the pig, even though we have chickens. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're from the same environment. They won't be able to, like, chill out with each other?
No, I don't think so.
Or do chickens and pigs have a fierce rivalry?
I don't know.
Yeah, those freaking chickens.
It'd be too small of a space. Like, our chicken coop is huge, but, like, not big enough for a pig to grow.
To, like, fit in the coop?
Yeah. Like, they can't go up the little ramp upstairs to sleep on the...
And you won't keep them inside?
That would be amazing, but no.
Dude, just make a litter box and...
No, they have diapers. They have diapers for chickens.
They have pig diapers?
I bet they do.
Ah! That sounds adorable.
Imagine that. They have, like, chicken harnesses. I've been so tempted to buy one of those so I can just walk a chicken down my street. Which I can't, but I want to.
I remember one time growing up, because my neighbors across from my house, I don't know if they still do, but they grew chickens at the very least. And
like in the ground, they planted them and they just grew?
No, it was more like, like when maple trees, like they have those floating little helicopter seeds. It was more like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
like
sense.
That. So anyway, they had chickens, and I remember one was just walking on like the front yard, and it was my brother, my friend, and my brother's friend. And my brother's friend, he was like kind of like tiptoeing, sneaking up because he wanted to grab it.
Yeah.
And so he got kind of close. He's like doing one of those Scooby-Doo tiptoes.
Yeah.
Like long, exaggerated leg movements. And he got he was maybe like 7 to 10 feet away from it. And
that's not close at all.
Yeah, that's not really close at all. But also it was like, it was only like 5 seconds after like starting tiptoeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so he's about that far away. But then the woman... It might have been 5 feet. But then the woman who, like, owned them, my neighbor, she, like, walks out and she's like, hello, how you doing? And we're like, oh, good. Like, but then he put his, like, hands behind his back and, like, acting like he's just chilling that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hello, what are you doing? And we go, we're just, like, looking at the chicken. It's very cute. And because I just could not read what the situation was, I just went, he was trying to take your chicken away. I snitched on my friend, and my brother looked at me like, Mason, Don't do that.
They're like, no. He's got it totally wrong. And you're like, no, like, he's trying to grab the chicken, but you scared it away, so we'll come back.
Yeah. It also probably didn't help that, not that we had a bad relationship with the neighbors, but...
Not the best.
Well, years prior, because I used to have a big black dog, Otis. I used to have him. And when he was younger, 2 to 3 maybe, he would just, he would just run up to new people. Or, like, even people who knew. He'd just run up, like, like he just wanted pets. He wanted to play. But even 2, 3 years old, this is a big dog. Mm-hmm. Round about 150, 160 pounds. Yeah. And so we always made sure to lock the gate so he could never get out. And then he sees our neighbors, and because I forgot to lock the gate. And so he got out. He sees our neighbor, and he runs up to them. And he's like, he's just kind of playing. But then kids are crying, and, like, they're all afraid. My dad had to go get him. And he was like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. And our neighbors, apparently they're from Iraq. Mm-hmm. And they said to my dad, in my country, if you want to kill a man, you send a dog.
Oh.
And we were like,
so they thought that. Oh.
I don't know if that's what they thought, but it's hard to get away from the idea of sending attack dogs.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And for those, and you can't see this, but Ashley is playing with a bread tie, forming it into little squiggly lines.
It's pretty cool.
Looking like a spring right now. Yeah. You got any funny dog stories?
Sorry, I need to fidget with something. Well, since I have chickens and they're free range, so like we open the coop and they walk around my yard, sometimes my neighbors' yards, we try to prevent that. We have a lot of dogs in our neighborhood, and when they get off the leash, because they see chickens and they're like, I'm gonna get that. So that has always been an issue.
Well, that's...
Had a couple close encounters.
That's never been a good phrase. I had a few close encounters.
Yeah, that's never the best end to a story.
No, it's
just
not.
Like, oh.
Oh, well. What are you gonna do? Dogs will be dogs. Oh, well. Got anything else on your mind?
Not particularly.
Yeah, because her face was looking rather vacant. Well, you know what?
Blank face like Hastings.
Yeah. No, he always had, like, angry face. His eyebrows were always, like, arched. He was, like, never happy. Dude, what are you doing? Dude, what are you doing? That was, like, always his thing.
Oh.
You say something dumb or, like, you were doing something stupid. Dude.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Don't do that.
That's so sad. I can hear him saying that, too.
Dude, what are you doing?
Hastings, come back to us.
You say something funny?
I miss you.
You say something funny? Ha-ha. He never had, like, a big laugh. He did, like, a ha-ha, and then on the table. He was what a jolly fella. Yeah. Oh, well. And you know what? With those remembrances of Hastings, you figure this is a good end to this podcast?
I think so.
Nice.
This is a memory of you, Hastings.
This is the memory of you. Thank you for having me, Ashley. It was
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I hope you keep this going. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is real fun. Hopefully I can get more people in next time, because not a lot of people, like, really responded to it, or at least not a lot of people in school. Mm-hmm. Most people are actually, like, out of schoolers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which isn't bad because they have, like, a phone option on the studio, but it is...
I have someone who's going to do it, so I'll hit her up.
Oh, nice. Well, now I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have 2 more mics. This could be a 4-person.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know what? That will possibly be the sequel, More Than 2 People. Ashley, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mason, for having me.
Okay. And to all of you listening, goodbye.